On this episode of Playconomics, we discuss Joanna Dark's Saving Grace. We dive into the beautiful nightmare that is Final Fantasy XVI, and we discuss Sega. Yes, it's been a very slow news week. And finally, Bobby gives his opinions on the future of mobile games. Let's get into it. What's good, everyone, and welcome to episode 103 of the Playconomics podcast, where we break down the business behind our favorite video games, your favorite video games, and provide you with financial context for industry trends. I'm your host, Matt Mascari, and joining with me today, as always, except when he goes on a hiatus and disappears for a couple weeks,
here we fucking
is
go.
Bobby Kawecki!
Listen, you're lucky I didn't take a hiatus from this podcast permanently after that. I don't even, time means nothing. Was the last episode the episode where we almost killed each other live?
Listen, I think we had a very fruitful conversation about the FTC.
Over corporate brands that have zero impact on our day-to-day lives,
And
but we've somehow made our entire identity.
if you want to see how that podcast almost broke up the Playconomics podcast, check out the episode right below. Love to see it. It's in the description, definitely. But we're not talking about the FTC today because there's been no news.
Christ.
Because we are just waiting for that judge to either say yes, injunction, and the deal falls through, no injunction, deal piles through. So what we're going to get into today is a little bit different. It's a little bit of a slow news week, but we're going to hit you with some financial context, and they're going to be for industry trends. Like threads, I hate it.
Love it.
Stop.
Twitter is off my phone. I'm balls deep in threads. I'm all in on
Let
threads.
me tell you something. If there is one thing that I appreciate about Bobby, is that he will dive balls deep into anything new.
Yep.
He's
Except Sonic.
he is a big first adopter, first out. Where it's I'm going balls to the wall. All of my content's going on threads for the next week and a half. No traction. Fucking out of there.
FIFO, baby. First in, first out.
Love to see it. Love to see it.
The minute I see the engagement start to wiggle on threads a little bit, we're done.
Yeah, there's
We're
an eject button, and it's just Elon Musk's face, and it just back to Twitter.
Can I tell you my prediction?
Yeah.
I don't think he tried. If I'm Elon right now, I'm like, break glass in case of Vine. I come for everybody. I unleash the Kraken. I go full video searchability. I bring short form video to the platform.
He did short form video
on Twitter.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying like bring back a robust Reels and TikTok competitor.
Yeah, I get that. He kind of did it because he has if you pay for the subscription of Twitter, you get to put 2-minute videos on Twitter.
But you know what I mean?
But it's not
vertical video, like curated. Yeah.
I get you. I mean, I would love
also, it. Izamir's TikTok done. Like, we had our time with it. G tried.
No.
Gave me COVID twice.
No, I think plenty of people still use TikTok. I like YouTube Reels just because I'm on the YouTube app so often. Like, that's how I take in most of my other content. Like, I'm searching YouTube videos, learning stuff, watching YouTube. Reels are just an easy next. I'm already in the app, bud. Already in the app.
I am of the opinion that short form's days are dwindling fast. Everybody, like, short form content's like berry stuffed French toast. Stick with me here.
Okay.
Berry stuffed French toast is delicious.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
How much berry stuffed French toast can you eat continuously before you die or get sick of it?
I see what you're going with, but I think the analogy is just incorrect because I think it's just completely shortened everyone's attention span, and other media is having a difficult time. Like, I think short form media is too powerful. Like, I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. And I haven't seen any trends to prove in any other way besides short form media is 100% here to stay. And you just said if Twitter wanted to really punch up, it would put short form media on its content.
No, first thing I said was video discoverability. I think you attack your Listen, if Twitter found a way to integrate trends, the trends page, which is one thing that I think Threads actually lacks,
Yeah.
right? If we're talking about like one-to-one competition, if Threads had an explore page like Instagram does, it'd be a wrap. It'd be a wrap.
Yeah.
Genuinely and truly.
Yeah.
The best part about Threads, and I know this might sound silly, was the onboarding process.
It was cool.
Never ever in my life has it been like, hey, here's your screen name, because you already have a screen name. And you don't have to worry about people following you, because when they get here, they'll all follow you if they follow you on Instagram.
I have seen the one complaint is that if you delete Threads, it deletes your Instagram profile. I'm assuming that's just a bug, and they'll iron that out eventually. But
probably not. Probably not.
You think it's here to stay? Like that is here to stay? That combination of if you delete Threads, you delete Instagram?
Of course, you're handcuffed to the table at that point.
I guess. Why not just put Threads in Instagram?
I think because it's such a fundamentally different experience.
Yeah,
You're also siloing it off in case it shits the bed.
Not if you have to delete it. If they're linked where you have to delete, I guess they can figure it out. Like if they want to can Threads, they'll figure it out. But let's get into the video games, because we've been talking about Perfect Dark way more on this show than I thought we were going to. And
we're the only people on the planet discussing Perfect
more than
Dark.
once.
I want to make that
more than once
eminently clear. We're the only people discussing Perfect Dark.
So this it was a slow news week. This topic is named Joanna Dark is Saved. Because as you know, I recently found out what the Perfect Dark lady's name is. But the more important part of this story is that Embracer Group needed cash. They had just cut a bunch of studios. They decided that they were going to exploit the Lord of the Rings. And because of that, they now need cash to do anything they want.
They realize that hyper expansion and purchasing of large swaths of studios with zero production talent isn't exactly a solid business strategy.
Unless you're Xbox. But
well, not really.
Unless you're Xbox. So what we wanted to do is a new segment here on Playconomics called, and come with me on this one,
I did not approve or know about this.
Financial moment. We got a financial moment here on Playconomics where we break down not only what happened in the article, but we give you a quick little update just in case you're not the most financially savvy person. So you're asking yourself right now, Matt, what do you mean they raised capital? How did they get this influx of $182 million? And it's easy. They did an issued share. They issued more shares. And you're saying to yourself, Matt, why doesn't every company do this? Because
doesn't that dilute the ownership overall of people in the company, kind of like inflating the currency by just printing more of it?
Yes. So there's two ways to generate revenue from issuing sales. You got issuing sales, which has the downfall that...
I mean, issuing shares, you troglodyte.
What'd I say?
In issuing sales.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Issuing shares.
Sorry, I called you a troglodyte.
It's fine. So basically what happens are new shares are issued by the company in order to generate revenue. They can be issued at any price, but those shares have a direct impact on the stock price after they are purchased. For example, let's say we have Kawecki's Pizza. It's currently trading at $10 a share, $100,000 shares, or 100,000 shares. We got a market cap of about $1 million. It's a healthy company, but it's trying to increase capital. And it's going to sell 10,000 shares at $10, the same price. What this does is increase your market cap to 1.1 billion, giving you an additional $100,000 in expendable income, and it's a heavy income in cash. The issue is that it does dilute the share pool and any types of ownerships. Usually, you don't dilute the company. The shares that the company holds, you dilute everybody else's, but we don't have those details for that or for what Embracer Group did. However, there is a negative, a huge negative, and a huge red sign for a company that is struggling. Let's say Kawecki's Pizza is currently trading at $10, $100,000 or $100,000 shares, market cap of $1 million, but there is a huge loss in their sauce, and they need quick cash. So they sell 10,000 additional shares at $5 a share.
I just realized what's the joke here.
$5 a share, and they only raised the market cap to 1.05 million. They still have that 110,000 shares out there, but now they have diluted their current market cap by not increasing it by the same amount of shares. So basically, the issue with issuing shares is you dilute the amount that people within your company own, and if you sell them at less than market value, your stock tanks because it corrects towards that value. What I am glad that I didn't see Embracer Group do is a rights issue, which is the same thing as issued shares, but you only offer it to people that are currently invested in your company, usually the big players that are invested in your company. I'm very glad to see that Embracer Group did not do this, because that would have given Savvy Gaming Group had already done over $1 billion. Do you think they would have taken it? Do you think Savvy Gaming Group would have taken the chance to put more money into Embracer Group? Or do you think they were just like, I'd put $1 billion in, figure it out?
So number one, for all you financially illiterate orangutans out there, what Matt is describing is the scene in the 2010, possibly later than 2010, but 2010 sounds right, David Fincher picture, The Social Network, that very famous scene where Spider-Man slams Mark Zuckerberg's laptop.
Yeah.
Lawyer up. Did you dilute my shares? Okay,
they did. They did dilute his shares, but they didn't dilute Mark Zuckerberg's. Poor guy.
Zuckerberg's. God, what is with you this morning?
What I say?
Zuckerberg's issuing sales.
Come fight me. Come fight me, Mark.
Is everything okay at home?
Come fight me, Mark.
Do I think Savvy Gaming Group would issue more money into Embracer Group? No. I think once you start seeing a company like Embracer Group predicated solely on acquiring mid-tier other IP that has yet to prove something, like, if we were, how do I put this? They got too big too quick, right? Like, what have we seen out of Embracer Group that is like, wow? Not much. Destroy All Humans 1 and 2 remake, Saints Row kind of sucked ass. I don't know, what, like, a lot of remakes and shit like that, like,
I feel like
there aren't any reliable market players under the Embracer Group belt right now. Like, we didn't get a new Borderlands yet.
Nope.
Maybe Gearbox does something. No, I don't think they give more money. I think Embracer Group is a poster child for what not to do in terms of continuous large scale acquisition without actually turning over a profit
or having the capitals to float it until you can turn over a profit. Yeah, I definitely think Embracer Group's aggressive spending, even with the $1 billion from the Savvy Gaming Group.
You can call it the Saudi government. That's what it is.
The Saudi government.
You can say
the Saudi government.
You can say it.
Whatever. That much influx of cash.
The government of the country where there are still public beheadings. Yeah.
Yes. I would like to get our channel monetized, Bobby.
I'm not the one doing them.
True. But we see this big influx in money, and then you see them trying to rapidly expand, and then you see them rapidly cutting ties with everything they just expanded to. And it's a nice warning for everyone else that the just buying studios, even though Microsoft is saying it's working, might not be good for everyone. And it's not a sustainable market for everyone. Only if you're Microsoft can you float that cash until you put out a new product. Agree? Disagree?
Matt, let me see your arms really quick.
No, why?
Hold your arms. Let me just see your arms.
Want to see my massive guns?
Well, I mean, they must be massive considering how much fucking water you continuously hold for Microsoft on a daily basis.
Listen, someone's got to hold it. And it's not Phil Spencer, and it's certainly not Todd Howard. I don't know who puts them in front of him.
Bobby Kotick for CEO.
I'd rather have you be the CEO. Bobby Kotick.
My God. First thing listen, day one, I stepped into Microsoft. Here's what will you allow me the floor for a tangent? To take everybody on this brief sojourn into hypotheticals.
Listen, you gave me a full 3 minutes for a financial moment. So you go right ahead. You go right ahead. We could call this segment Xbox or Xbust.
But Xbox, but done correctly. Number one.
Yep.
First day on the job.
Yep.
I'm walking in. I've just been elected CEO, head of Xbox Games, and I've also hostily taken over a majority of the board. So I am now.
You're making changes. Like we're getting rid of the. You would never be able to do that. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
I could do whatever I want.
Yeah. A mistake in most businesses, by the way.
I am making Phil Spencer walk around in a PlayStation T-shirt.
You're not firing him. I thought.
Oh no,
he would be in prison. Where's his jail cell desk?
Listen, in the jail cell, Phil Spencer he isn't learning his lesson. Okay, he's thinking about how many more studios he bought, but bringing me coffee while wearing a PlayStation shirt every day. So his only job. And then I'm going to make sure that the coffee machine is at the far end of the building so that as many people as possible have to see Phil Spencer walk to me as I do my job correctly. Next thing I'm doing is I'm cutting the bottom batch of studios. Who is either shitting the bed, hasn't produced anything, and then focusing on my in-house products and creating something that's really meaningfully good.
Did you count 343 shitting the bed? Like,
yep, 343 is done. And no, I would look clearly. The people at 343 are not up to snuff when it comes to building a first-person shooter that is viable in the current online space. I'm making key hires from
Bungie.
No, I think that there are other live service players out there, right? So you go to something like what is PUBG? Krafton?
Yeah.
You go to someone like Epic. You go to anybody who
Respawn.
Clearly has a Respawn, right? Anybody who has a passion for the IP as well. People who want to work on this shit, not people who just work at a studio called 343. I also then don't name the studio after Halo. Because if, there's anything, it's, hey, stapling the company masthead to a single product is kind of a bad move.
That's fair.
Naughty Dog isn't Uncharted Studios, because they also made The Last of Us, and they're not that either. They're known what they're known for, right?
I mean, I guess.
But they're not Firefly Games or Gold Coin Productions.
Listen, I'm not blaming companies for how they name their company. Like, Naughty Dog wouldn't be any worse if they were Uncharted Studios.
Are you joking?
Why would they be worse? If they only developed Uncharted, they would be worse because we wouldn't have The Last of Us. But if they're just named Uncharted and do other things, it's fine.
But then if the product is like building a team and branding that team solely around one thing instead of a culture that out of that comes that thing, right? Like, so Naughty Dog isn't built around Uncharted. It's built around strong narrative, third person, highly produced games. The thing that is produced of that product is Uncharted, is Last of Us. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. It's nice to have brand identity instead of game identity because you could release a bad game and still you could lose all of your street cred. And yeah, I get what you're saying.
Phil, it's coffee time, pal.
Coffee time,
and I'm coming for
coffee time. Is that your whole tangent?
That's it. I just want to, emasculate Phil Spencer in every sense of the business. And then actually do things that make sense at Xbox.
Fantastic.
Also canceling Game Pass. I'm just gonna watch.
I was waiting. I'm like, is that it? Is that it? Are you? Because that was about to be a soft admission that Game Pass is the greatest thing that ever happened to the video game industry.
No. So here's what I'm gonna do. Have you ever seen the It's a very famous Apple ad that is a parody of the film version of 1984, where she's running. And the guy, the head is on the TV, and he swings the sledgehammer. I'm pretty sure even Fortnite did a parody of this. A very famous thing.
Yeah.
and the sledgehammer like crashes.
And you're
going to
do that with Game Pass.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, this episode's going to be a little bit of a vibe check because, again, it is a slow news week. So, Bobby, I want to hear you talk more. What have you been playing? What have you been playing?
Well, that's a fucking first. I've been playing on and off Final Fantasy 16. I finally bought it. I finally downloaded it. I finally played it. It's certainly, I would say, the most fluid gameplay that I've ever seen in a Final Fantasy game. I do prefer the combat system of Final Fantasy VII Remake, where it is real time, but you can also stop and choose your moves as well. It's kind of this hybrid solution. I think it's pretty neat because maybe because I'm so early on. So I just beat I call her Wind Mommy, yes. the blonde wind lady.
Benedicta.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wind Mommy.
What are we talking about? Oh, Final Fantasy.
Wait, let me.
I think that when you're playing, my biggest criticism of the game is I just fucking wish it let you play more of it. And I wish that when you're playing, like it's this sleight of hand type thing. It's almost like how VATS in Fallout 3 was specifically put in there so that you don't realize what a shitty shooter it is. You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess.
Like that,
I guess.
Right? I feel like the cutscenes are in there because if you play any stretch of gameplay for more than like 20 minutes, you're like, monster closet, hallway. Cool. Hub area?
Yep.
Fine. What I will say, those got the Godzilla fight. That's what I call them. The Godzilla fights, like the boss fights, like that first one. Spectacle.
They're so good.
On a level I have never seen.
They're so good.
Like I was playing it and I was like, this is like some God of War shit.
That was my exact comparison, was like, this is like early days God of War, like quick time events. It was fantastic.
The quick time events I actually hate. I think the quick time events are,
I think they're mistimed.
Like, it's like I'm playing. Oh, here, you want 8.5 minutes to press R1?
Listen, they should be shorter. They should definitely be shorter.
7.5 out of 10. I think all the hoopla that people are doing, I think the technical issues are glaring. Like I'm playing it in performance mode and I'm noticing like stuttered frames, which for a game on PS5 shouldn't be happening, considering there are other games that look better than this and don't have that problem.
And are an open world.
And or like and are like an actual open world. Not that the numbers fucking mean it. Look, this is the best Final Fantasy game I have ever played.
We're going to get into the numbers, so don't get into the numbers. Just give me opinion on gameplay and everything, because our next segment is the sales numbers. Because
it's I understand why it's divisive. I'm still of the opinion that... Did you play FF7 Remake?
Yeah.
Depending on the day, I would flip-flop between which one I like more. I think I like the aesthetic of this better. And those fucking big Godzilla boss. Like that first one where you're the bear Godzilla thing guy fighting the Phoenix, man.
Yeah. Spoiler.
Man.
Spoiler. That's okay.
So good. So just...
You haven't gotten to the good ones because they give you so much more of the Godzilla fights. Like they're so much better.
Here's what I wish. Here's my 2 points of actual constructive feedback on Final Fantasy 16 that I think are cornerstones in games like this that every game going forward should have. Yep. Number 1, do you remember my biggest unexpected hype about God of War Ragnarok was?
God of War Ragnarok? No.
It was the auto optimize button.
Oh, yeah. They do that here.
And they do that here. And I love that. Because if you're like me and you don't care, my leather bracelets don't go with my ring of power. That's shut up, Jacob. Okay?
Yes, but
Just press auto equip.
no, but they give you a fine balance. So the weapon, the belt, and the gloves, I think they are. It's either gloves or boots or some shit. Those are auto equipped. But the necklaces that give you the different, like, oh, it increases the fire magic you do, or oh, it increases the damage that comes out of your sword. Oh, it gives you better wind damage. Those you can mix and match, and those give you a level of customization. I personally think there's not enough of that. Like, there's not enough equipment slots that I could customize and do things. Because, like, at this point, I don't think there's enough to make it worthwhile. So I'd rather you just give me a stock character and let me fight.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give you that one. My other great thing that I need in every dense RPG going forward is the lore, the constant lore system.
Oh yeah, where you could click the like home button and just say, "Who is
if
this?
you're
Who is
me
this? Who is
and you
this?"
haven't watched like a single cutscene in this game because all you want to do is keep playing it, well, that is so perfect.
Yes, it is really cool. There's actually a person in your hideaway that'll give you background lore through the whole game.
Can you imagine if in Elden Ring 2, The Ringening, they had something like this, or like any FromSoft game where at any point when you pause, they're just like, "Hey, here's what's going on around you. Here's where you are. Here's just like a little Wikipedia article."
Yeah, I feel like that's part. Like I would personally love that, but I feel like that's some of the luster of a FromSoft game is that there really is no story, and it's
you don't have to know. You don't have to tell me the story. Just of the things I have and of the places I am, just show me what I should be paying attention to.
I get that. I get that. It is a really cool feature, and considering how, like, I don't want to say how quickly they go through things, because these cutscenes are like 15 minutes per thing. Like they're not going.
Kojima doesn't even have cutscenes like this, man.
Like it's not quick, but you lose some of it because what they're saying a lot of the time is very dense. So it's
oi, me, you.
Yeah. But all right.
My king, my liege, my Jacobs. Yeah. Shut up, sit down.
So
she has wind, Jacob. Look at her.
So,
you're missing why this scene is great.
So I'm a little further along than you.
You're a little further along in me. What is wrong with you?
I'm tired. It's been a long couple weeks. But I'm further along than you are, and I love the cutscenes. What I don't love is the, like, between the big Godzilla battles and between the, like, go kill this larger enemy, the stupid little enemy missions in between,
the mobs,
yeah, and the side quest. The dude, I forget what his name is, came out and on the internet said that he wanted to reinvent the way that side quests were done, and I truly think that he is delusional. These are the most run-of-the-mill, so ordinary, bland vanilla side quests that I'm trying to do them all because I'm waiting to get to one that he was discussing, where it's just like, this is awesome.
They don't exist.
They're hot garbage. And you're going to be like, Matt, you didn't do Blacksmith Blues and you didn't get the cool armor from the... I did do Blacksmith Blues. Oh, you didn't do the quest where you get the chocobo and you reunite with him and then you could ride him in the overworld and it makes running around so much better. I did. It's still dumb. The quest was bad. It was bad.
Matt, I didn't do any of those.
I know.
Because I'm here for very few things in this game. Number one, the Wind Mommy first fight, where you're in the castle, where I was like, oh, this is going to end in like a Godzilla fight.
It gets better.
That's a God of War fight. That's the God of War Valkyrie fight.
Yeah.
But not as good.
It's really cool. And then Torgal comes in and, like, grabs her throat.
Oh,
hold on. Hold on. This dog.
The CPA just cranked his volume to 11.
This dog is the greatest side character of any game ever. There's a major plot hole with him that they need to explore or I'm
That he gets thrown at a brick wall at 150 miles an hour and doesn't just explode upon impact. That one.
It gets so.
When I saw that, I was like, "Oh,
It gets so.
it's that kind of a game."
It gets so much worse. He does like that. Torgal does something, and you're just like, how are they going to explain this? And then they're walking away, and they're like, Torgal, how'd you do that? And Torgal's a dog. He just goes, ruff. And I'm like, we need more context than that.
Torgal, how did you fully get vested in your 401k so quickly?
I wish you would get to it because it's really far in. Like it's gonna take you another week or two to get to it.
Oh, I'm gonna be playing this game for like a month.
Yeah, it's gonna take you a really, really long time to get to the scene I'm talking about. But once you do, you're gonna be like, why would they do this? But
I think, listen, because between now and Spider-Man, because I'm not gonna play fucking Starfield.
I was gonna say you got nothing.
I'm not
to play.
a nerd.
You got nothing to play.
No, the one, and then we'll move on to Final Fantasy sales because I see how long we've been going on this. The only other game that's coming out this year that I'm genuinely, truly excited for is Sea of Stars, which is that Chrono Trigger type.
Yeah.
It looks like Chrono Trigger, but it's not Chrono Trigger. It's like a 1990s SNES RPG, but for now.
Yes.
Cannot wait for that. Looks cool as hell. I'm all in.
Besides that,
And then Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right? But. I'm going to sip on Final Fantasy 16. Maybe I'll go back to Tears of the Kingdom. I doubt it. I wasted money on that because I was at the black site and I had nothing else to do.
Yeah, I know, but listen, I don't know. So let me ask you something. Tears of the Kingdom still far and away your game of the year?
Never was. I told you that.
Oh my god! Outside of fucking remakes don't count. You can't.
I would go back and play Resident Evil 4 remake right now every day.
Oh my god!
Just again,
that's
from the top.
No.
So technically,
right,
perfect in every single way that a game could be.
Okay, I'm going to give you a really, really 30-second to a minute reason of why we cannot let a remake win Game of the Year. If we let remakes win Game of the Year, all we are ever going to get for the rest of our lives is remakes.
We're already in the problem.
It's going to get worse. It is going
Impossible.
to... It will. You can't have...
If they've remade Resident Evil 4 slightly better every year, I would still buy it. You want to know why? Because I've done that. I've bought Resident Evil 4 on pretty much every console I've ever owned.
You were the problem. This is worse than Pokemon. At least Pokemon has the decency to give us a new game. Like, it might be hot dog shit, but at least they give us something new every year. Or every couple of years whenever they release Pokemon. I feels like...
You excited for the Frozone or whatever the hell it's called? The Forbidden Area? What's the DLC called?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, you do.
I really don't. Oh,
yeah,
no, because I found
lying.
Pokemon Showdown, and that just scratches every Pokemon itch I will ever have. And it just lets you battle online with fully customized and competitive teams, and it's just way better. It's what I wanted from Pokemon from the very beginning, and now I get to do it. You get to battle your friends with whatever Pokemon you want. But overall, I give Final Fantasy I give it like an 8.5 to a 9. I
think you're a little more bullish on it than me.
I love the cutscenes. So that part of it, I'm cool with them being in there. So I don't knock them off from that. I think the gameplay's a little slow at times. And I was telling you before, you get some really high highs on this game. But there are also some really low lows of gameplay where you're like, why am I doing this?
Are you going to go back and play 7 Remake after this? Because I feel like if you like this, you will love 7. Because 7 Remake is everything you like about this, but it actually lets you play.
I know. I tried 7 Remake, and I got about 3 hours into it, and I didn't like the I didn't like the...
Really?
At all. Not even a little bit. It was confusing.
Is it because you're bad at it?
It was confusing. It was clunky. Did not like it. Did not like it in any way, shape, or form. I don't think I'd be able to finish that game. But
you know the meme, the GIF of Trump where he's like,
yes, I do.
Tell me about these sales numbers, Matt.
Sales numbers not looking good. I take that back. I take that back. The sales numbers are not looking good comparative to Final Fantasy 15. and they're showing over the first week, I think it did 3 million units, which is fantastic for a console exclusive. I'm cool with 3 million units in the first week. Sales numbers are showing a 78% drop off, and I think that is the biggest issue that I'm having, and it's going around in the Twitter space that the reason this game isn't successful is because it's a console exclusive. And if we saw good attach rate or good repurchase rate where week over week they're doing well in sales, then yes, I would say it is because it's only on one console. You're not being able to get it to as many people. However, because of this steep drop off, the only thing I could feasibly say is the reason is that it's just a huge departure from the series. And it's very...
But it's not. It's not.
It feels not... It doesn't feel like a Final Fantasy game at all.
I look, to all the people who are saying that, did you play 15? Did you play 7 Remake? Because it's...
Listen, I don't think... I gave it a 9. I'm not saying it's as big of a departure as people are saying it is, but I think that that's the main critique. And I think the JRPG Tales of Arise style combat isn't meshing with a lot of people. And it's
not everything is Tales of Arise.
Listen, I understand, and this game is better than Tales of Arise. The issue is, and exclusively because it has the Godzilla battles, because outside of that, these are the exact same games. The story's the same, the quests are the same, the characters are the same. Everybody is identical.
The mother crystal.
Yes, it's legitimately the same thing. You were 100% going to get the mother crystals. You get the power of each of the mother crystals as you destroy them. Like, it's the same exact thing. I think this is just a different Final Fantasy game, and that's why it's not selling well. Because everything else about it, it reviewed great. The game is fun. It had 3 million in sales for the first week. It's a huge AAA game in a year where we don't have a lot of AAA games. The only thing I could think of is that it's a departure from Final Fantasy, and it didn't give the Final Fantasy crowd what they wanted. Because why else wouldn't this game sell?
It gave them a shower.
It gave them a shower and a good game. But so if it's not, because you're big on it's not the console exclusivity that's hurting sales numbers for this game. And if it's not that this is a huge departure from Final Fantasy, in your opinion, what is causing this game not to sell? As well, because I want to stress a lot that this is a massive success for both Square Enix and Sony.
Again, it's all about perspective in terms of what a critical success in terms of sales, right? Like, this was never going to do 20 million units like Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. But why do I think it's selling softly?
Yeah.
I think it might have something to do with the critical reception. Oh, it's not a fantasy game. Shut up, Jacob. Guess what? Yeah. I have only played like 3 Final Fantasy games. 6, 7, and this one. Because I'm not a nerd, right? Mm-hmm. Played the good ones. So I don't think it's that. I think it's more in the vein that people are just fucking tired of big games. I think we had so many big games. I think so. I think this is a casualty of just everybody being like, fuck, Zelda, then Diablo. I don't have the time for this. You know what I mean?
That is not what I was expecting. That's not an answer.
Of course
that's not an answer, because you and me both know that June 22nd, when this game drops, they drop Elden Ring. Nobody gives a shit that there was other good games out there.
Again, it's not that there were good games out there. It's just this is a line of succession that we've had. It's just big game, big game, big game, big game, time sink, time sink. And again, like you said, the people who were bought in on this, bought it. But it was that middle that you had to convert. And those people are just like, man, I was inside for 3 fucking years. It's sunny.
It's nice out.
It's the hottest day ever recorded. I'm gonna go outside.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying It's
regardless of win money.
Yeah. So you're saying it's not that this doesn't compare to the other two games. You're saying that there's just so much games to play right now in this 1 month of release, and it's nice out. So like people
Correct.
are allocating their time, and I do get with
I think if this hit in that Elden Ring timeframe, if this was that, mid to February to early March game, this would have done much better.
if this would have hit because it would need to be that March frame, because I was thinking if it had hit when Redfall did, but then it would have had 2 weeks later it had Zelda, so it would have been not worthwhile going against Zelda. I think they might have actually done better doing it now, like mid-July.
And again, critical darling, people love it.
Yep.
Big fan.
Yep.
Clive's cool. Sid has got major Bobby energy.
Sid is one of the of all. You've noticed that in all the Final Fantasy games, they have some version of Sid.
And Biggs and Wedge, yeah.
And Mid. He's my favorite by like a long shot. He's fantastic. I can't wait for you to get to Sid's secret meeting, and it's gonna be the cherry on top of Sid's character is when you go into a large story mission, and he's like, hey, meet me here, and you meet him there, and it's fantastic. But we gotta talk about things that aren't necessarily fantastic and aren't necessarily usually discussed on this podcast. And what that means is that it's a slow news week, and we got Sega. We got Sega news.
Oh, the company that Microsoft almost bought because they're creatively bankrupt.
Okay. No. More like the company that bought Angry Birds 15 years too late.
Jesus Christ.
And what we're going to be talking about is a recent CEO comment that they're going to pull back their efforts on blockchain. And then he goes on to say, no one cares that Sony was making a blockchain game. Crypto crashed, and now everyone is walking back their stances. We completely understand whether or not crypto crashed on its own merits or because of the fluctuating market situations. We'll never know. We don't really care. However, the best quote that came out of, I think it was the CEO of Sega, is that the action in play-to-earn games is not fun. It's not fun to play a play-to-earn game. And to that I say, make a better game. Because
I agree.
That is the stupidest statement that I have ever heard, where you're saying the game we designed is not fun and blaming the feature of a game that's outside of the video game world.
There is some credence to that, but I think getting into this space at all was the first misstep that they made.
Sega in general.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't see any leverageable space that Sega had to get into this market. And we saw something similar with Ubisoft, where they had the massive failure on the blockchain with Ghost Recon. And I believe they added the blockchain to the Ghost Recon game. It didn't like launch with it. They added a blockchain element to it later. But they're also developing a new tactical RPG called Champion Tactics. Why are people still doing the blockchain thing?
Look, I think blockchain gaming, I've said it. I think it has a future. I just don't think anybody has been close enough to the button yet to get it.
I don't want to see Sega and Ubisoft do this. I want to see an independent studio do this that knows the blockchain, that knows video games, and they do it in a way that's novel and new.
I want to see Pokemon do this.
No,
they're gonna fucking come out and say it.
Do you see?
Yes,
Pal World. I want Pal World to do that. Pokemon with guns.
I want to get a shiny Charizard with a unique feature set, stat spread. Have that be a 1 of 1, and just jack up the price on that fucker. Just completely artificially inflate the Charizard market.
Yeah. To be honest, I think they're better off just making a card, like a Pokemon card that you can scan into the game and it gives you a special Pokemon. I think that's how.
Oh, you mean the e-reader, the greatest piece of technology man has ever turned its back on?
Yes. For what game was it that you could like the whole card game was like you putting
Pokemon.
Was it?
Yeah, Pokemon had the e-reader cards.
No, but it was the ones where like you needed a piece of glass and it made the cards 3D and you could like see them battle. Like you used your laptop's camera to like look at the cards. Was this just like a fever dream of mine? Like this might have just
It's like
been
a Captain Crunch game.
the Captain Crunch game. Don't start. You gotta play it. Do you have a disk drive on your?
No, I have a good computer. I have a Mac.
I know I don't have a disk drive either. If I had a disk drive, I would own this game to this day. I'm gonna find it on eBay and I'm gonna get you like a USB.
You should be put in jail if you do that.
Oh, I'm gonna get it for you. I cannot wait. Crunchberries on deck. But I don't know why Sega's in this business. I need somebody that has 100% clout, something like Pokemon, something like a Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. They need to get into this, or we need an indie darling that's going to handle this correctly, not Ubisoft and like, oh, blockchain's trendy. Let's make a blockchain game. And that's what I think
the kids love.
Blockchain.
The kids love that blockchain.
Yeah. Like, oh, yeah, you know what they're talking about on the playground at 7-8 years old? Blockchain. They're not. They're talking about Call of Duty. They're talking about mobile games. And you know who else is talking about mobile games?
I was waiting.
Us, baby! Transition gold. Transition gold. But in the article that we have here by GameIndustries.biz, they're reporting that the makeup of women gamers has increased by 23%, or they now make up 23% of the video game market. This article is brought to you by Jeffrey Rousseau, fantastic writer over at GameIndustries.biz. But my question isn't necessarily about the women aspect of this. It's just the accessibility of mobile games. And we have come a long way since Snake, Brick Breaker. But how strong really is the mobile game market? Last year in 2022, we saw it generate $41 billion in just the mobile game market. That number is going to be ever increasing. And my question to you, Bobby, I got some heated ones. For you that I need your thoughts, opinions, financial context, some industry trends I need you to lay out for me. Currently, in today's market, is the mobile game market the most important video game market right now?
No.
What is?
The skins market. The live service.
Okay. So you're saying live service is, if we didn't have...
Well, okay, so let me quantify that.
Mm-hmm.
The single purchase mobile game is not. The Diablo Immortal Battle Pass pay to win
Raid
clear
Shadow
scam.
Lenders. Yeah.
Bro, are you having a stroke?
What'd I say? Oh yeah, I messed
Raid
up.
Shadow Lenders?
Whatever. I got a lot on my mind. Raid Shadow Legends. Enunciate, Matt. Enunciate.
F in the chat for Matt's aneurysm.
Yeah, my grammar's uncontrollable today.
That's the most important thing. That's what everybody's trying to crack. Whether it's the Battle Pass, the Season Pass, the skins, the Fortnite Club, the WoW that's never coming to console. That's what people are chasing. Let me tell you something.
What?
It might.
It might, baby.
Assure you.
It might. So, no, but I'm more excited for the World of Warcraft mobile game, Warcraft Arclight Rumble. That's officially been canned, I think. But, so... Let me ask you something. In that context, we're talking about live service games. We're talking about the fact that the skins purchase, the ones that keep you in that cycle forever and make you make small transactions over and over and over again. If you had to start a company, video game company, and your only goal was to make money, it wasn't to produce a good game. It wasn't to produce something that'll put you in the upper echelons of video games, top 5 games of all time. You want to generate revenue. You making a mobile game, or are you making a live service for console PC?
Both. I'm making Roblox. I'm making something that's playable on every screen by every man, woman, and child on the internet.
Okay, so you're basically putting something on Game Pass. Got it.
No.
Got it. So, my next question.
That's
my-
making a good game,
Yeah.
not a Game Pass game.
Yeah, now that you're saying that you just want your game on Game Pass, do you think we will ever be in a world where mobile games completely replace
No.
computers,
Let me
consoles,
separate.
handhelds?
Nope. It would have happened already.
You think so?
It would have happened already.
Yeah, but see,
It would have happened already.
my thing is, I just don't understand. I understand PC and I kind of understand console. I don't understand how it's not able to get the handheld market. And I think the only reason is because Nintendo is holding out on it. If Nintendo decided to make like a Nintendo Pass and you put it on your phone, I think handheld.
They tried Nintendo mobile games. They all got canceled. Mario Run, Pikmin Camp, Fire Emblem bullshit.
They're not all canceled. They're still playing. But I'm not saying.
Let me explain
No.
If they were as big as Zelda, if Zelda could put out a Zelda mobile game that was as big as Tears of the Kingdom and generated as much money, if not more than Tears of the Kingdom, we would not have Tears of the Kingdom.
No, my thing is, I'm not saying make Zelda into a mobile game that will generate that same amount of revenue. I'm saying make Tears of the Kingdom for mobile.
That's what I'm saying. If there was a market for that, it would happen. The market has shown that is antithetical. We've had PlayStation cancel mobile productions with their is it F-Zero? You had that space racer game. I don't know why I want to say F-Zero, right? Is it Ridge Racer?
F-Zero is Captain Falcon, so I don't think it's that.
Yeah. Anyway, Sackboy Run, Uncharted Temple Run, all of these shit the bed.
Yeah, but those are all mobile games. Like those are all mobile games with a reskin of IP.
One was yes, correct. One was an Infinite Runner, one was this, one
I'm not saying that.
But that's what people want.
So you're saying they don't want Tears of the Kingdom on their phone?
Nope.
All right. I think we are gonna see it because I think phones are gonna get more powerful and it's gonna be the buy-in. No, because I guess they keep consoles relatively cheap. All right, I'm willing to buy it. I'm willing to buy that we see mobile games stay on mobile, but I do think we are eventually going to get a crossover, and once that crossover happens, mobile games are going to be king, and like far, far, far bigger than they ever could be. But my last question to you is, what do you think takes mobile games to the next level? When will you see, and not necessarily next level as in they're producing AAA games, but when do you think we're going to see mobile game respected as an adequate way to play video games where it's not constantly getting shit on by PC, console, handhelds?
Never.
Why?
I think it's going to continue being this strong moneymaker in places like India and China. I think it's going to be the heart and soul of the casual market for teens and adults in the US and Europe. I don't think anybody will ever respect the mobile COD champion as much as they respect the COD champion. And I don't think you'll ever see a full-fledged piece of IP launched day and date.
So
on mobile.
So what you're telling me right now is that the game of the year for 2024 will not be a mobile game. Have they ever gotten close?
I'd kill myself live on stream.
Have they ever gotten close?
Genshin Impact, maybe.
That's fair. Yeah, but isn't that also on PlayStation? Like, isn't that?
Yep. It's on everything.
I don't think it's on Xbox. I really don't think it's on Xbox.
Man, y'all are struggling.
Oh, I'm sorry. We don't have the world's most predatory video game on our console because we value our consumers and didn't want to put that on Game Pass. But whatever.
What are you talking about? You have Minecraft.
That's not a predatory game.
Okay. Those green guys that explode, I'm pretty sure those are predators.
The creepers. They're not. Did you ever see the video? It's the dude, and he's just explaining how kids want to go back to child labor.
To the mines. They yearn for the mines. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. But
Listen, we've been threatening for the longest time to become a Minecraft channel.
I know we have been. I just hate Minecraft. It is.
You feel?
I hate both of my brothers have tried to get me to play Minecraft endlessly, and I just hate it.
That's the noise.
That is the pigman noise. The only thing.
No, when you're digging or whatever.
Oh
you do.
yeah. That sounded more like the eating. Delicious, fantastic.
The CPA.
Let me get a
the
pork chop.
CPA after all of this ASMR looks
know.
like Stan's dad in the episode with the ectoplasm.
Yeah.
He's just sitting at his computer like this.
Absolutely love it. Take us in for a landing, Bobby. I think we've kept their attention for long enough.
Not likely. If you like what you heard and want to hear more of it, leave us a good review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, wherever you consume this podcast content. Leave us a good review on YouTube as well. Right after you hit the subscribe and like button, leave a comment. If Matt's hat that says "Free the Birds" is ridiculous because birds, they're not real. And follow us on Instagram Threads.
And remember,
Actually, don't follow us anywhere else other than Instagram.
we're not.
Threads.
Are we even on Instagram Threads yet? Find out. And remember, as always, happy gaming.